I will show you a Sudoku strategy that artificial intelligence and computers do not know how to use, but it's simple for a human. And with that, it's solving time. I want to start by showing you a little trick that you'll see often in the New York Times hard puzzles. I want you to look at these cells right here. What you may notice is that you have a 2, 4, 6 here and a 5, 7, 8 there. So 6 different digits in the 2 blocks, and they all look at these 3 cells right here. And so what you have here is a hidden triple, right? This can't be a 2, 4, 6 or a 5, 7, 8. It has to be a 1, 3, and a 9. And since you have the 1 and the 9 right there, this is going to be your 3, and this is going to be a 1, 9. And then you can furthermore take this 5, 7, 8 and put it up here. Since you have a 7 and 8 in row 3, this has to be your 5, this has to be your 7, 8. And you can fill out all those cells very quickly. Greetings, friend. NeoCart posted this puzzle on Logic Masters Germany. That's the premier puzzle site in the world, and he wants people from all over to solve it. He did ask me specifically if I would solve it on the channel. Thank you, NeoCart, for this wonderful puzzle. It requires a neat trick that computer solvers and AI just cannot handle. And this isn't the trick, but before I do show you that trick, I want to hear from you. What's the last thing you did using AI? Personally, AI helped me come up with the title and thumbnail idea for this particular video. What about you? Please, please, please drop it in the comments and help me grow the internet's best Sudoku community. Okay, that adding digits, nice trick. It's only going to take you so far. And a computer can see and solve these cells pretty easily. So let's move on and use this knowledge to solve these cells right here. You have a 1, 7, 8 here, 2, 4, 6 here. 6 different digits all see these 3 cells. Only thing missing is a 3, 5, and a 9. Well, you might notice you have the 5 and the 9 that look at this cell, and the 9 repeats on this one. You can solve all 3 using my neat naked triple trick. This has to be your 3. The only place in the corner, bum, 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 the only place the 9 goes right there, and that's going to be your 5. And it allows you now to fill in the rest of these blocks. That's got to be a 1, 7, 8. You can remove the 7 there, the 1 there, and I'll do a little bit of marks of the 1s and the 7s. I'm going to mark anytime a 3 by 3 block. You have 2 possibilities for a candidate. What's remaining here is a 2, 4, and a 6. And this is something you really need to hold on to. That out of all those neat little hidden triples and marking, what emerges is this 2, 4, 6 idea. 2, 4, 6 would finish up here in block 4. This can't be a 2, and this can't be a 6. And then you'll see with this 3, 9 cutting across, the only place the 3, 9 can go in block 1's right there. Then you have the 7, 8, and the 5 and the 1. This is part of another 2, 4, 6 naked triple. And this is where it gets interesting. By using this 2, 4, 6 within this little hidden triple, NeoCart, he's foreshadowing what cells are important to study and what candidates. And so we've marked several cells, but the hidden triple solves, they've dried up. So you want to start marking digit restrictions from 1 to 9 and any 3 by 3 block where candidates appear only 2 times. So let's start with the 1s. We did 1s in block 7. With this 1 and this 1, 2 places for a 1 in block 2. We don't want to miss anything, and we're going to get up and set up the nice trick that humans can see, AI not so much. How about these 2s? Because we're done with the 1s. With these 2s and this 2, you can solve for 2 here in block 9. And then with this 2, you'll notice there's only 2 places for 2 in block 1. And then with this 2 and the 2 in column 6, 2 places for a 2 in block 2, 2 places for a 2 in block 4, and that's all you can do with the 2s right now. The 3s, with this 3 cutting across, and this 3 coming down, you have a nice pointing pair of threes. The threes are in the same column, so they can't be anywhere else outside that block, or you wouldn't have a 3 here. So you can match the pointing pair with this 3 and these two threes to solve for 3 in block 6. And that's all you can do with the 3s right now. If you look at the 4s, there's only one 4 given. It ends up being probably the most important candidate in this whole puzzle. There's two 4s right there in block 9. 5s, with these two 5s, only two places for a 5 in block 3 because of that 5 right there. And that 5 and this 5, actually this 5 right here, two places for a 5 in block 5. And then in block 8, with these 5s and this 5, two places right there. Okay, let's move on to the 6s. Two 6s in block 1, two 6s in block 4, and in block 8 with these 6s right here. Okay, starting to dry up a little bit on the solving, but we're not done yet. 7s, with all 4 7s peeking in the block 6. You know you can solve that cell for a 7. And then we already marked two places for a 7 in block 7. That's it for the 7s. The 8s, with these two 8s, two 8s in block 6, and with these two 8s, two 8s in block 8. And with the 9s, you might see with these two 9s and this 9, you can solve for a 9 right there in block 5. Look at the impact. Now you can solve that for a 1, solve that for a 9. Nice. And then you can look here with these 9s and solve for 9s. Well, you can mark 9s up in block 3. You're not solving them yet. And we just went through 1 through 9. We made some solves and marks along the way, but did not find and completely get through this solve. We're kind of drying up on things. So you need to go through them again. You want to find the easy solves before you start looking for the more advanced strategies and the neat little trick where a computer would solve it much harder. So you notice by adding this 1 here with these ones, you can solve for 1 in block 6, which is going to give you 1s here in block 3 on top of the 9, so you have a nice hidden pair, 1 9. Only two places they can go, so you can mark a 1 9 right there and remove any other candidate from those two cells. And then with the 2s, with this 2 there, now you have two places for a 2 in block 5. And I'm going to show you why that's so important here in just a little bit. The 5s, with this 5 coming up, now you have a pointing pair of 5s in block 6 to go with these two 5s. You can solve for a 5 right there in block 3. Okay, and then the 6s, you'll notice that this 6 cuts across row 9, covers the 6 right there. So where can a 6 go here in column 7? It can only go in these two cells, which are both contained in block 3. This makes them a claiming pair. Since the 6 has to be somewhere in column 7, it's restricted to block 3, nothing else can be there with the 6s, right? And then in block 6, with this 6 cutting across, two places for a 6 right there. And this is as far as normal solving will take you. But you don't have a clear where to go yet. The computer solvers will suggest several advanced strategies to get to the next part. That's why this puzzle is rated unfair. It needs some kind of chaining. That's at a minimum to solve an unfair puzzle using computer logic. So you can do this instead. Like I said, NeoCart gave some foreshadowing here with this 246, 246. These triples are important because let's look across row 3. You have a 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. What's remaining? A 2, 4, 6. The same 3 candidates I was just showing you. This can't be a 2, and that can't be a 6. Look across row 6. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. This can only be a 2, 4, 6. And this can't be a 6, and this can't be a 2. Okay, you got to notice something really, really cool here. And I love this. What you might notice is, where can the 2s be in this puzzle? These 4 cells. actually these 4 blocks, and there's 2 possibilities in each block. What you might also notice, and this is the cool part, is that in each of these blocks, one of those cells is a 2, 4. The other one is a possibility for a 2. So I'm going to color this up to kind of show you something here that a computer's not going to notice, but you will. Since the 2's have to be in one of these 2 spots in each block, they got to be in one of the 2 cells, they're a conjugate pair. So a 2's got to be there or there. It's got to be blue or it's got to be orange, right? Conversely, in the blue cells, you have a conjugate pair within the cell. So it's either 2 or 4. Either the cell's a 2, if it's not, it's a 4 in all 4 of these blue cells. What does that mean? Logically, what it means is all of these blue cells all have to be a 2 at the same time, right? Because if that's a 2, what you'll see is it'll block a 2 out of there, force a 2 here, block a 2 out of there, force a 2 here, block a 2 there, force a 2 here, right? If it's not, if this is not a 2, it forces the 2's in all the orange, which would do what? Remove 2's from all the blues, and you could solve all of them for a 4. This is really awesome logic. I can see why NeoCart put this on Logic Masters Germany. So the blues, they're all the same digit. They're all going to be 2's or they're all going to be 4's. How do you use that to your advantage? Well, we use something that AI is not going to use, but you can. We're going to do some coloring. And so I'm going to actually switch these up and make these yellow. Make it a little bit easier to see than the orange. Because the third color I want to use is red. So, one of this is a 2 or 4, one is 2, 4, or it could be a 6. This has to be the third digit, whatever that is, in that triple. So that's got to be red. Same thing here. This red digit is represented. It can't be, the 2, 4, or possibly the 6. Where's it got to be in row 3? It's got to be right here. Because we've proven, as far as 2's go, these are going to be the same, these are going to be the same, and these are all going to be the same. Okay, so that has to be red. Same thing here. Where would the red digit go in row 6? It has to be right there. And this is where you can do the first piece of logic. Where does this red digit go here in block 9? It can't be in this column. It can't be in this column. So it's got to be in this column right here. We know the red digit has to be 2, 4, or 6. In this case, it actually really has to be a 4 or 6. However, since a 4 is right here, 2's in the block, a 4 cannot be in any of those cells. So what does that tell you? It tells you the red digit has to be a 6. And so this one's actually a red digit as well. So all these red digits and this digit right here, they have to be a 6. Because that's the only thing that will fit in here. If you put 4's here, no place to put a 4 in block 9. This is the first piece of logic you need using multicoloring. Beautiful. But you're only going to get so far with this. In fact, you're only going to get as far as finishing up the 6's, and then you're going to need something else. But let's clean up the grid a little bit. That can't be a 6 anymore. With this 6 here, you can displace the 6, solve this cell for a 6. You can remove this 6 right there. Do we have all the 6's? Yes, all the 6's are marked in this puzzle. We're going to remove the coloring for now. And go, okay, what next, Timberlake? Can we use this logic, this fact that these 2 4's are all the same? Can we do that to make some more deductions and do something cool with this puzzle? And yes, the key is actually these 4's right here. There's only one given 4, but there's a ton of conjugate pair of 4's now. So 4's got to be there or there in that block. Here, here in this block, and I can remove that 6. Okay, the 4's got to be here or here in this column, and I'll actually mark that as a 4, 8. 4's got to be here or here in this block. Look across row 9, 1, 4, 8 missing. That can be 1 or 4 because the 8 right there. So 4's got to be there or there. Conjugate pairs are the backbone of advanced strategies. So let's do some more coloring. This time it's simple coloring. So the difference with simple coloring, you're only going to look at the two possibilities of where a 4 can be. They're going to be either in the blue or the orange I'm about to show you, right? So if either this is a 4, if it's not a 4, the conjugate pair has to be a 4. So that'd be that cell right there. Same thing, this would be a 4. So, you know, if this is a 4, that'd be a 4. So all the oranges could all be 4s, or all the blues could all be 4s. Since the 4 is right here, there's a conjugate pair of 4s in column 9. This is the only other place that could be a 4, so you can color that blue. Okay? Since this is blue, that would be the opposite. That's going to be orange. This cell right here, which we can fill out as a 4-8, would have to be blue, right? Hopefully you're following me so far. Now, here's where you make the first deduction. Since this is an orange 4, this is a blue 4, one of these has to be a 4. Either all the oranges are 4s or all the blues are 4s. So any cell that sees both cannot contain a 4. This cell right here sees both of them, right? So it cannot contain a 4. You can eliminate a 4 from this cell, right? Because if you put a 4 right here, you end up running out of places to put 4s in these blocks. This is important because what it does now is it creates another conjugate pair. Since you have a 4 right there, the only other place a 4 can go in column 4 is right here. So you're going to mark that and continue coloring. And now we're going to connect to all these two 4s over here. This would have to be orange. This would have to be blue. This is the only other one here. This would have to be orange. And I know you're seeing something right now, and you're going to be yelling at me through the screen. And I'm going to show you what's going on here in just a second. So this is orange. This is the only other place to put a 4 in the row. That'd have to be blue. And now I know what you're going to say. Timberlake, you got 2 blues in row 5. You also have 2 blues in row 2. What does that mean? What it means is if you were to follow the blue path, you'd end up with 2 4s in row 2 and 2 4s in row 5. One of the rules of simple coloring is if you find this contradiction and where the same, in one of the colored paths, the same digit appears more than once in a row, column, or block, that cannot be the solution to the puzzle. You'll notice you don't have that problem with all the oranges, right? There's only one orange in all these rows, columns, and blocks. So guess what you can do right now? You can ignore all the blue cells as 4s and solve all of the orange ones as 4s. They have to be the 4s because the blues create contradictions. This is a beautiful rule of simple coloring. And so what you can do is solve all those cells for a 4 right now. Computer's not going to do that. It's not going to find that. AI will not find that for you. But you see how simple it was for us to find those solves. Now you want to see what does that do for the rest of this puzzle. This is beautiful logic. NeoCard had a little bit different idea, but I had to show how the coloring worked. The name of the puzzle is chromatics. Chromatics usually refers to tri-value coloring. And so I wanted to use coloring to show you how easy it is to solve a puzzle. In fact, easier than a computer sometimes. How far can we get now? Let's remove the colors. Go down here, Control A, click them all away. And what does that mean? Because this is a 4, that's going to be an 8. All right, which displaces that 8. You can solve this cell for an 8. Because this is a 4, that's an 8, that's going to be a 3. 8 and 4 means this has to be a 1. So far, looking good. This 4 means that's a 2. 4 means that's a 2. And that's a 2. So we're going to solve all those 2s that we had. Okay, we can remove those 2s. This would be a 4, 5 right here. And this is going to be a 4, 5 right here. Now, where do we go? Well, keep on looking here. This 8 means that's a 7. That's going to be an 8. Okay? And then what you can look at is what do you got here? 7 digits filled out. You're just missing a 1 and a 3. With this 3, that's got to be your 1. That's got to be your 3, displacing that 1. Now you can disambiguate the 9 and 1 up here. I love this part where you're gobbling up all these marks you made. 3 and 9 right there. What do you have left here? 4 and a 7. So that's 4, that's 7. Now you can disambiguate the 5, 4 right there. 4, 5 right there. Nice. With this 5, displace that 5. Always start where the marks are. You'll get quicker solves that way. And then you have a full house coming down the column. So this has to be a 7, which means that's the 8, that's a 7. Displace that 8. Solve this cell for the 8. And the last digit is a 3. Now see if you can spot the special trick in this next puzzle by NeoCart. Thank you so much for watching.